So about the
Hello.
British question.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this brand new Bell Spaceman podcast, where basically Brand, Ash, and I, we just talk about a new album every single week. Isn't that right, guys?
It'll be very
Yeah, that's
enticing.
right, Bells. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Can't you hear how excited I am?
Yeah. Let's hope that this lasts for over an episode.
No.
But no, but anyways, we're gonna be talking about the album "Ugly" by Slow Tie. This is the third album from the British rapper, and the first time the first album that it's said to be the first album where he steps away from his comfort
Oh my
zone.
fucking god, Bells! Can you say a whole sentence?
I will try to say a whole
It
sentence.
is the third album from the British rapper Slow Tide.
Can we make the podcast name Bells Tries to Speak? And
Hey, guys,
maybe
welcome-
episode 80, we can name it Success, and he gets a full sentence out without stuttering.
Hey guys, welcome to Porky Pigcast.
Yeah. No, but yeah, this third album from the artist, also one of the most acclaimed albums from the year so far, according to a lot of people. So
Is it? I haven't heard of this album until
No, it
just
is.
now.
No, yeah,
it is. I'll give him this. It is.
it is very it's been beloved. But anyways, I guess how we're going to do this is that I guess we're gonna do it in the album the week kind of style.
I would like to
Nobody
go
knows what
last.
that is. Why are you saying that? Nobody knows what that is.
I would like to
Nobody
go
watching
last
actually knows
if that's okay.
That is true, Brand. That is
Hey,
true.
audience, the famous album of the week format. You guys know what it is.
Every critically acclaimed album of the week. Everybody knows it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I guess I'll just
Fuck.
start. Talking.
Holy
I'll just-
shit! Jesus!
Come on, man.
Stupid ass fucking Colombian can't
A
talk.
little less,
without picking
a little
himself.
less pessimistic attitude about this brand. Come on, we have to bring.
Oh,
some
won't you please talk so you can feel the dead air on your dying channel, Bell? Pretty
My
please.
dear Christ.
Mm. Okay, but anyways, "Ugly" by Slow Tide. Very good album. I guess I'll just start saying this that this is definitely a very unique one to say the least. This is an album that fuses post punk, rap, specifically British rap, in definitely in a very in a way that I haven't really seen it before. In fact, this is I guess you can consider this kind of a rap rock album, but I guess it's rap rock in kind of a different length.
I
No.
don't listen to a lot of British rap for obvious reasons. But is Slow Tide like the most notable one, or?
I mean, there's really not
KSI.
much. There's really not much popular British rap out there. Like it's I guess it's
Well,
mostly-
no, that's hold on. That's just not true.
really.
There's a ton of very popular British rap.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just that they're not-
it's a whole
they're-
it's a whole subculture.
Yeah, they're
I
just
assume.
not very critically acclaimed a lot of the times. But Slow Tie's not even the most famous. I would say somebody like Little Sims is a lot more famous than Slow Tie.
Yeah.
And the UK hip hop genre drill is extremely popular. It's just not very rate your music centery. Slow Tie, I will say, is a notable figure in it, but certainly not like the British hip hop guy.
Yeah.
That would be Dan Bull.
This is my first exposure to British rap. This actually isn't the first time I've heard Slow Tide because he is on the song "Momentary Bliss" on a Sound Machine, which is a song I like. Kind of, it's not the best song. on Sound
Gorillaz is
Machine.
British rap. What the fuck? What do you mean you're not used to
Well-
British rap? Gorillaz
Well,
is British
no,
rap.
okay. Gorillaz is British inspired and has rap in it, but usually the rap is guest artists like Deltron.
I mean, yeah,
I
that is
would
kind
say
of true.
that a lot of the times that's true, but almost every Gorillaz album has some sort of
'Cause-
British rap in it.
Damon Albarn doesn't really rap. He just kind of it's
Talks.
more Yeah, exactly. It's just more rhythmic talking.
Is that not what rap is, though? Rhythmic talking.
I mean, rap. I feel like has
Rap
a little
is
bit
like
more.
a mountain.
Rap is like a mountain. Rap is like a mountain. It's hard to get up.
This is also not the first time that I've actually listened to British rap as well. Actually, I have heard Little Sims before. For some reason, I completely forgot about Little Sims, but I think
Glad
this will
you've been
probably.
doing your research for this podcast.
Yeah, I guess I should have done more research, but I guess this will make it my third time because I've listened to Little Sims and I listened to that one, the Massive Attack song from like one of their earlier albums. That is pretty much British rap.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think Ugly, it's a great album. Not only a great album, but it's a very consistent one as well. And I will say that almost every song definitely kind of has kind of a different, I guess, like it carries like the same post-punk kind of fusion like the whole way through, but like every beat is at the very least kind of different. Like there's some more abrasive beats, there's some slower beats. Like it definitely has a different tone for every song. Yeah, I mean the first song, I think that's from what I've heard the most acclaimed song on the album. That's like the one that people tend to talk the most about. It's called Jump.
Would it not be the title track?
No, it actually is. I've seen that that one is actually the most talked about from what I've seen.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like Jump is definitely a great track and definitely a great opener. Like it definitely you listen to it and you definitely get an idea what the album's going to be about, like just immediately. Like from his personality to the beats to everything. It definitely presents the album very well.
So is that the end of your piece or?
No, I was just it's kind of when like because you guys were had something to say. No, but I mean, I do have more to say about this track particularly. I mean, yeah, I mean one of the best tracks. Definitely a lot of great lines. Definitely a great one of the best concepts of the songs as well. Like it definitely is also probably one of the most I guess insane ones. Like personality wise, especially with like the whole verse with the therapist.
I mean, I think there's no real way that we can kind of give our thoughts on each track with just kind of thought about the album in general first. Otherwise,
yeah,
I like spoiling it.
This isn't really one of those albums I would go track by track because the consistency of it kind of tells. I don't want to say the same story, but each one kind of goes over the same parts of the same themes. At least that's what I thought.
Like to an extent, I guess so. I will say they certainly range in quality, but just what I'm saying is that like you either like the sound or you don't really. I don't see people hating one track but liking another one on this. You either kind of like all of them or you like some and just kind of are mid on others, but you're not going to hate one and love another one, So
I think that's.
I'll just kind of say what I thought of it quickly, which is I really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I typically hate British vocalists as well, and that held me back from the Little Sims album a lot. But this one, I thought not pulled it off per se, but I didn't mind it. And just kind of the emotion that he gives throughout, paired with how good each one of these different beats are, makes it a uniquely very good experience. A great experience, I would say. I really loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I will have to agree. Like, it's like not only because of that, but like from all of the British rap that I've heard, well, the three that I've heard, I feel like Slowthai feels like the most natural and the most. I don't know, like some of the other artists like are trying so too hard to kind of trying to get that I guess that rap voice out there. But I feel like Slowthai is just kind of being himself. Like he isn't really trying to be someone else.
I guess
Yeah.
I kind of agree. I don't know. I guess to put my thoughts out there, I didn't really love the album. I genuinely kind of thought most of the subject matter is pretty easy to connect to for a lot of people, but I feel like the way it was tackled was kind of empty in a way, and a little basic. Most of the time, he just kind of said exactly what he meant without any kind of own personal flair to it. It's literally just, I'm going through a hard time. Times are hard because it's a hard time. I didn't really feel any kind of, I guess, poetry to it. Where you get a lot of rappers who talk about, poverty or crime or addiction, and they put at least some kind of personal flair to it. But this just kind of felt like it was telling a very overall bland story that didn't even feel very personal.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like for me, like some rap, like having like, kind of like a poetry, I guess side to it can be fine if depends on like the personality and the kind of I guess charm that the rapper presents here. And I feel like in this case, like considering that not only it's definitely very energetic, but also very biting, very aggressive, very definitely has a lot of I guess mean flair to it that I think definitely carries it over perfectly well. Like I think it's a simple, I guess, lyricism to done very well for me.
I guess my whole thing about it is that, you think of Eminem and he talks about his addiction, his poverty, and how it affects him, his relationship with his daughter, or anybody else he knows. But this, I just felt like if anybody was mentioned, it was very passing and almost seemed like that person didn't really matter. Like there's that line where I think he's talking about his sister, where he's like, my sister, her kids are having a hard time, and that's literally it. That's all he mentions of it. There's no nothing to it.
I mean, like, yeah, well, that's true. I think it's just supposed to be like kind of a raw display of emotion rather than some sort of poetry about it. Like, and it's a valid criticism, but it's not really something that kind of like drags it for me anyway. Especially because like a lot of the times his performance is what kind of sells it, not necessarily the lyrics themselves.
I guess that's fair, but the performance didn't really bring anything for
Because he's
me.
British.
Well, okay, it's genuinely not just because he's British. It's just I don't know. I felt like the passion just wasn't really there. Um,
How?
it,
Like
it,
he's
it,
like screaming his fucking lungs out on some of these tracks. I don't get how you could.
it's easy to be loud, but loud doesn't always equal passionate.
Well,
It's
yes,
just
obviously, but he has passion in his voice when he is doing that. It's very like carnal the way that he does it. It's not just like being like loud.
Yeah,
I don't
also
know.
like
I don't really see how
there's also like a lot of wit in a lot of the lines. In fact, it still has like a lot of great lines that I think are worth quoting. So like even if like if in a specifically lyrical I guess side, like there's still like a lot of things that you can get out of the album. Like what was it? I remember. I guess going back to the first track. I do remember. There was one line that specifically stuck with me. Shit. What was? But what was? I think it was the.
great podcast, Bells.
I guess we can only go. At least. At least.
Holy shit, man!
Did you take notes while you were listening or anything?
No, I didn't.
God, Jesus.
But you make a good point. I should actually take notes.
You know what
time.
people love to hear when they're listening to a podcast? Silence. They're a really big fan of it. Sometimes some of these podcasts are just way too like upfront with all the noise and stuff, and you're really a trendsetter for just introducing not speaking during a podcast.
Man, I just want to talk about Mr. Thug Isolation. That's the album I enjoyed that's the album I enjoyed listening to today.
Good album.
I literally listened to it the moment I finished this one, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like this one much better.
This is such Bells. Can you say something? Can you speak on your podcast? Please, I'm begging you.
Come on, I did speak a lot like throughout the whole
Okay,
thing.
yes, you spoke a lot. You're supposed to be speaking the whole time.
It took 7 minutes to write. I thought it would take 7 minutes to read.
Okay, Bells. Oh my god. Okay, what did you think of the second track, Bells?
Oh, Selfie. I was actually going to mention that. I was actually.
I would hope so. I would hope you were going to mention the songs.
I was going to mention the second track as well because I was actually my favorite. I think it has the best beat. I think it has some of his best personality. I think it's definitely the most replayable as well.
Ash, what did you think of the second track?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Each track sort of another huge problem I have is that each track blended together for me, to the point where I genuinely can't remember one from the other. I would have to. This is one of those albums I would have to listen to a few more times before I really let it sink in, I guess. But genuinely, my first listen through, whole tracks would go one ear out the other. To be fair, I did also listen. I listened to it while I was at work, so I didn't. I didn't have time to take notes. I have an excuse.
I mean, and I did move the meet for an later hour, so you can listen to it in like.
Okay, but that's still okay. That's because I was still at work. That doesn't mean I suddenly have time to make notes.
Fair enough. Also, I was going to. I will mention this time a line that I know I have in the back of my mind. Probably my favorite line of the whole album, and that's the "People suck dick to climb a pyramid. It makes me sick."
Of course, that's your favorite fucking lyric.
It's a good line.
Of course, it is.
I mean, what can I say? It's a good line.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I have way less to say than I thought it.
Here's what I'll say. Like, just generally, I love the production of the album a lot. I think that regardless of what you say about him or him as a rapper, can we all agree that at the very least the production's really good?
Yeah, no, it is. I do actually think it's well produced.
It is very good. It's also very punchy. Like it definitely sticks out.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I was just more focusing on when I was listening. I know I pull like the whole lyrics are secondary, but in this one it was like, well, his voice is like all British and shit for some reason, so I'll more focus on his production. And that was great. That was a fun time. Not to say that I didn't listen to the lyrics, I did, but I just kind of prioritized how everything kind of felt and how it all sounded, and it sounded really, really goddamn good.
I will say the thing that stops this from being like a total wash for me as an album is the beats and the production and everything. I genuinely did find myself enjoying, even if I didn't love the vocals or the lyrics, I still did genuinely find myself enjoying the instrumental bits.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably like the best example of how to do like a rap rock album without it sounding like ass.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really put this in sort of the same category as if it's like the same genre as like a Hybrid Theory or something. It's like rap post-punk, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, it is very different from other rap rock or generally even rap in general.
I wouldn't say it's like a genre-defining kind of album, but I would say it at least has its own it does have its own general sense of personality as far as music goes.
Mm-hmm. I would add to that I think that when his emotion does shine through on some of the later tracks, it's very potent and kind of makes him stick out more. So I don't really get the whole idea that they just kind of blend into each other. I get that for a fair amount of the album, but at a certain point, it stops kind of being more like fun, party type shit, and
I
generally becomes a lot more emotional to me.
I guess it's just because I felt again I just felt like each song isn't really, it's just generally about something, it's not fully about something. Like again, you listen to Eminem, and a song isn't just about his addiction, it's about how his addiction is affecting his daughter or his marriage or his relationship with his mother, or fuck, even how his music is written, or his regrets on how his addiction ruined his life or how poverty affected him and shaped him. Uh, or you take anybody, like you take fucking what's the one Biggie song? It's the one where he talks about basically how famous he is or how much money he has now, and when he used to struggle. Is that Juicy or is that a different one?
I don't know what song yeah, I don't know what song you're talking about, Ash.
I genuinely can't remember,
like
but
a Biggie song though. So,
but it's just like it takes this very lackadaisical stance where he's talking about how great his life is, how much money he has, how he can take care of his mom, coincided with the fact that he couldn't there was a time where he couldn't take care of his daughter and all he ate was sardines for dinner. Like that kind of stuff I find more powerful than just generally screaming, I have a cocaine addiction.
yeah, I mean, I would say that they're two different feelings. They're not kind of mutually exclusive, though. You can have. I think that both can work, even if that other one does sound like it's more enjoyable.
I think both can work. I just think one has more meaning to it. Because
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like
that,
if you want to make music all about your struggles and addiction, you should at least try and convince me that you care about those struggles you went through instead of just making it kind of feel like you went through them just for the sake of, well, no, okay, not went through them just for the sake of your music, but you kind of feel like that's all it was for.
I mean, I don't know. I think that both ways can have equal meaning. It's just that when it comes to music, that tends to be more full of itself. I guess there is more of a risk that it probably will go bad. And I don't know, like with this album, I never really felt like it went too off the rails. Like it kind of stayed consistent in how entertaining it was.
See, that's my thing. I kind of wish it did go off the rails, though. There are parts where, like, I don't want to say there's zero passion because there very obviously is passion, but I feel like there's not a time where he just completely loses it. I feel like there is still something being held back.
I mean, I remember like towards the end, like in the second last track, he did kind of lose it, like where his screaming was easily like the most abrasive and patent.
I do reserve that maybe this album would grow on me on like a second or maybe even third re-listen. And if we wanted to ever do maybe like a revisited episode or something like that, for this podcast, that'll definitely last. I wouldn't be opposed to doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, this was just a very solid project that, I don't know. I think it just worked. It just works. Sometimes it just works.
I mean, yeah, I also thought it was great. In fact, it's actually one of the best albums that I've heard from this year. But that's probably because this year has been kind of a blockbuster in a lot of albums.
Yeah, I've heard 3 albums this year, I think, and it's either this or the new Guzan album. Probably this, just because that one was a little bit underwhelming. But I don't know. I don't have too much more to say on it. Is anybody else?
No, not really.
I don't. Okay. By the way, also to close off, what score would you guys give to this album?
I'd give it like an 8.
Same, I'll give it like a decent to strong 8, maybe.
I'll go like a strong 5.
I see.
Okay, well, that's everything, and now we can leave and not do this anymore.
Nah.
What was that like 20 minutes? What was that like 20 minutes?
I don't know. Anyways, bye.
Uh, well,
And
see ya. I'll see you in the next Spell Spaceman, I guess.
No, you won't.